Hello everyone. Welcome to
Hello.
our live stream. We will be waiting for a few minutes so that participants can join in. So until then, I think we'll keep an overlay so you can enjoy this show until we join in. Okay. I hope everyone is excited. No, Rishikesh. I think we should start.
Yeah,
Audience will come in.
yeah,
Okay.
sure.
So, welcome everyone. So today we are going to talk about AutoML and how AutoML is revolutionizing the field of machine learning. So first we will go through what is AutoML, and then we will also talk about Mindsdb, our main topic today, how it is impacting the future of machine learning. Because nowadays there is a rapid change in the machine learning industry, and today we are going to shed light on that. So what is AutoML? Generally, most of you might not have heard this terminology AutoML because machine learning itself is a newbie concept, and still a lot of people are showing interest in it and learning. There are sparse resources for itself only. So AutoML comes as a striking concept for many of us. So Shikish, can you go ahead and tell what is AutoML?
Yeah, like AutoML is just now got the speed and is developing rapidly nowadays. The full form is like automated machine learning. So, what is exactly automated machine learning is where it is very much different from the traditional machine learning which we deal with. Okay, AutoML really helps businesses a lot because what it does, you just give the data to the AutoML system, and what it does, it analyzes the data and also makes the model available for the data which is more suitable for that. Okay, you might be knowing that the model, there are different types of model for different purposes. Okay, if I am dealing with a regression like a supervised problem, then I would choose a regression type of a model, or a classification. Okay, if I'm talking about then classification, whether it's time series or text analytics. So what it does, it first analyzes like which model would be more suitable, and after that the model is then assigned to that system. So it really saves a lot of time of the businesses or company organizations, and also it helps for the analysis purpose, for the data processing purpose, and also to get to know about which model is perfect to go on with. Okay, and fine tuning and other hyperparameter stuffs are comes further on, but AutoML really helps businesses to accelerate the build and deployment of machine learning model more easily. So this is all about the AutoML and why many businesses are transforming or gaining access to, or making their system transforming towards the AutoML. So that's the main reason.
Rightfully said. As Rishikesh, I would like to add on the points is, as you know, machine learning, mainly we use libraries of Python, for example, Keras, NumPy, Pandas, sklearn, SkiPy, etc. And without those, we cannot really implement machine learning. So, you know, AutoML actually provides an alternative to them. So where AI kicks in instead of you doing the work. For example, you can check out Auto Keras, Auto sklearn, or Auto PyTorch, etc. So also there is a AutoML framework for TensorFlow, TensorFlow.auto. You can go and check out. There are tutorials for that stuff, and also we would be in future turning our content towards AutoML because it is so much effective that you do not require that expertise of machine learning, but you can directly implement it with the help of AutoML frameworks. So yeah, it's an interesting topic. I hope you really go and explore about it, and we'll be bringing more content about it. So as I'm talking about benefits, so what are the benefits of AutoML? As Rishikesh has already explained, so maybe let me take an example. So say you have to predict a house price. So what happens is you have to take data first and then you have to pre-process it. The problem here is the pre-processing step is actually a lot more than the modeling stuff, where you actually select the model, fit it, train it, and evaluate. So what happens is your model does not reach a efficiency because of lot of pre-processing done, and even if you have to make some changes you have to do it manually. So this, what AutoML does is it automates that stuff with the help of AI tables. So where you give a particular step and that step is automatically done. So it's more of a declarative type. Instead of you coding it, it's a declarative type. You can just select it. So it is one of the provision of AutoML that is much useful. For example, for data scientists that we will discuss further. So coming to our main topic today, how the Mindsdb is democratizing machine learning. So I would like to share this small PPT here. So Rishikesh, can you go about it?
Yeah. So as we saw like about the AutoML, so Mindsdb is an open source tool, okay, and which really helps to connect the machine learning model with your database. So what it does, it mainly focuses on we saw democratizing ML for everyone, and like it is for everyone, for experts or for and for beginners too. So it why actually Mindsdb is so special, because as we know, like if we are fetching the data from the database and then working on the machine learning model, then we need to convert it into a data frame. Then we use pandas and all to analyze the stuffs, and then after analysis we use cleaning, pre-processing, and then we start building the model. Okay, and that's the actual practice we should follow, but it is time consuming. Okay, and what how Mindsdb helps us, it directly help us to connect with the database. Okay, so we are building the machine learning model with in the database. Actually, if we can say like we are building a machine learning model in the database by connecting with Mindsdb via AI table. Okay, so it really helps to save the time and go on with the process of building the machine learning model.
Yeah, I think that is a rough idea of what Mindsdb is. So if
Yeah.
still you have not got something, so this slide is for you. So what Mindsdb is in a few points. It is a ML company that mainly aims to democratize the machine learning prospects. As in, not everyone has a great expert skills in machine learning and in fine tuning, etc. So it provides an in database ML for everyone. So even if you don't have that process, like for example, we will discuss further about the whole process life cycle. So AI tables. What AI table exactly is? For example, you are fetching data from somewhere. You will run a query, and that query has some parameters, and according to that, it will return a table. So this is what AI table is. You are doing a query, running a query, and creating a table upon that. So that is an AI table. So SQL actually provides your steps that you can easily create an AI table. So that is why in database machine learning is being promoted. It reduces the complexity by doing all work in the data layer. As in, I told, like it focuses on in database machine learning. So in data layer only everything from like processing, modeling, and deployment can be done easily. So this is a meme, like everyone knows. For example, when we are cleaning the data, it actually takes a lot of time because not always your data is structured and in a proper manner. It can be unstructured or semi-structured, or can be a lot of anomalies or null values in it. So it is actually a headache to clean the data. As in this meme, it takes a lot of time to actually clean it rather than building a model. So lot of data scientists spend time on cleaning the data, collecting it, transforming it, etc.,
Reprocessing it,
rather
yeah,
than building the model.
reprocessing it or making it perfect or suitable for the model.
Yes, so
So
in
it,
this you
it
can
was,
see
yeah.
this is a ML ops life cycle. So there are three major parts. One is the preparation, where you actually collect data from various sources, integrate them, then you're cleaning and transforming, and then also you do feature engineering. Then that data is finally sent into your modeling part, where actually your model lives in. So you would apply a model, for example, regression or gradient boosting, neural networks. Then all that optimization, tuning, etc. is done, encoding. Then you send it for deployment. For example, it can live in your app, where you need to actually predict something, or you want to forecast some sales or etc. data. So the problem here is often in applied machine learning, actually it takes a lot of theoretical concept to actually like clean the data and then you're sending it to modeling. So it's more of a research based part. So for example, you're cleaning it with pandas and running it in a Python script, but that's not real time, right? You need to have a real time data base and fetching that predictions. So this becomes difficult task. So you first do data collection, transformation, then you are ETLing it eventually to make it real time. So extraction, transformation, and loading your data rather than a single step. So then you will have to eventually pipeline it to your database. Then if you need it in the app, you have to again pipeline it to your app and also fetch the prediction from your model and again pipeline it. So it is a multi-way process. So Mindsdb actually reduced it. How? We will see. So this is the normal MLOps life cycle. You can see here it is expensive as in time and resource wise. Yes, Rishikesh. So
Yeah.
you can see application here. You can see ML model. You can see data sources. So it is a multi-way model. So it is hectic and complexity is much more. As you know,
As, yeah.
data
I
should
would like
live
to
in the
add one
modeling
more
part.
thing.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, like as if anyone is going to build a model, okay, and the individual person have a raw data, so it should the person should have an expertise with the data cleaning and transforming, like feature scaling stuff and pre-processing, and should have a knowledge about which model should be better for that. Okay, and if any person is dealing with a database data specifically, then there are a lot of things to be taken into account, okay, while working to for building a model. And that's where the problem we saw is like taking data set from the database and then running the Python script. Okay, so it's really a time and resource consuming, as Pratik told now. So how MindsDB actually solves the problem is it it basically focuses on more in the ML part, and also it covers the data analysis and which model would be suitable is mostly done by Mindsdb only. So it is very best for the person who are not much expertise in understanding about the pre-processing stuffs and which model to choose, and that's where the Mindsdb is the best platform.
Again, as
Yeah,
told, it's making it possible for
yeah,
everyone. So
everyone.
democratizing.
Yeah,
So as this slide say, applied ML should start where the data lives. So where our data lives, it's simple answer in the database, right?
database.
Everything data heart and soul, it is in database. So if you want to model it, so you need to connect it with the database. That is what Mindsdb platform gives you. So in Mindsdb you can actually connect through a lot of databases like Redis, MongoDB, Snowflake, etc., and then you can pull the data and do everything operation on it, create AI table, create predictors, and that eventually you can send it to your app or anywhere in database using Docker. You can in one click deploy it. So that's what Mindsdb does. So as you see, SQL is a robust language and it actually provides you a lot of feature like feature engineering. There are DML commands, DDL commands like select, var, group by, joins. So it can actually help you do EDA, feature engineering, and that's why SQL can be used to do the things that we are doing in Panda or Python script, and it can actually be done inside the database. So this is what these three parts are now in your database. As data is in database, you can prepare operation, you can fetch the data from there and directly feed to your model, so that reduces your cost and steps and also the complexity. It makes data scientist life so easy. But still, of course, the modeling part is still there, which is one of the crucial. So they can focus all their strength on that modeling part, on
Yeah,
model optimization, hyperparameter tunings, and similar, etc. So what if we could manage ML modeling and deployment in plain SQL? So that's what Mindsdb does. So this is the concept where AI table kicks in. As I told, taking the data from database, running some queries, and converting a table format, the data present in table format, that is AI table. So this all steps, this three-step preparation, modeling, and deployment can be done inside a database using Mindsdb. Does that blow your mind? Please comment. That's awesome, or comment like what do you think on this? Because all three
yeah,
stages inside your database. Now there is only database and your app where you are eventually sending your prediction like forecasting of sales, etc. So as you can see, this is now the simplified model. Isn't it much simpler than what we just saw, right? No ETLing, nothing, only database, and you're preparing all operations, all predictions inside database, then you're sending it to application, fetching from application, sending it to a database. So only two-way communication. So these are all the handlers. What handlers does is it makes it possible to pull the data from that source, and so that you can smoothly work on it. So currently these are all the handlers that Mindsdb supports. You can see there are also popular frameworks like PyTorch, TensorFlow, LightGBM, that is a gradient boosting one, Lightwood, sklearn. Almost every machine learning lover actually uses it, and you can see a lot of databases and actually visualization tools like Tableau, etc.
Tableau,
Mice,
Looker,
yeah.
and Power BI. So Mindsdb is integrated with this too many tools with that. So you can integrate, you can use the power of Mindsdb while working on other tools also. Like by using the Power BI, you can use Mindsdb to have the AutoML stuff with you. Okay, because while working on Power BI, you can connect your database with the Power BI, and you can have you can make the insights or visualization through that. So
And yeah,
if you
inside
want to
the
yeah,
yeah
go on.
inside the Mindsdb cloud, you can
Hmm.
actually click a button and you can visualize everything. so you don't need to type anything. Yeah, Rishikesh, you can
Yeah,
go ahead.
like while working on Power BI, you can like directly connect the database with the Power BI tool. So while building the insights or visualization, if you need to have a uh, if you need to integrate the machine learning or predictive analytics stuff or predictive insights, then you can easily take the help of Mindsdb in like various BI tools which we can see here, which is like Power BI from Microsoft, then Tableau, then Looker from Google. So we have like lot of integration with Mindsdb to go on
Yes,
with.
exactly. And if you have any question and you can send us your queries and we would like to answer that. And thank you for this. So now we can come to discussion. Yeah, it's not ended because we have a lot of things to talk. Not so. Yeah, you can go ahead. So as we understood what AutoML is, what Mindsdb actually does, what problem it addresses and solves. So now you must have an idea how it is impactful and why the title of the video is Impact of Mindsdb in the world of ML. So now coming to the next section, why businesses are switching to the AutoML solution. First of all, because you see, traditional machine learning is also prevalent. You cannot completely rule
Hmm.
it out.
Yeah.
Many people actually use traditional machine learning, but why are people in 2022 switching to the AutoML solution? So we will try to understand that. So Rishikesh, can you go ahead? Then I will add on to the points.
Yeah. So as we know, in terms of data analytics, also, okay, many organizations or businesses doesn't follow the traditional rule of like doing the analytics by code and then making the visualization. There are various tools like Power BI, Tableau, and you can just leverage the this solution which are provided and just do the analytic stuff more easily, and that's where the AutoML also comes. Okay, while going through the process, as we saw the traditional process which we go through and which is the most ethical process for the that first is having a data preparation, then going for the pre-processing cleaning stuff, then pre-processing, then feature scaling, then building a model. So it takes a time. Okay, and in real world right now, the innovation is going on in a very exponential manner, as compared to the traditional system. So we need a solution which is rapid, okay, and we need a result more rapidly. So while preparing a data and all the stuff, if it is going to handle by a one system, then that's more beneficial, because here we are not taking the data set from we are not preparing a data set from the database, we are working in the database. Okay, and there will never be a problem of inconsistency while working in that. Okay, there might be a condition you are working on a different data and at that time the database got updated, so there may be a condition of inconsistency there. So what actually happens, we are mainly working on in the database while working for data cleaning or data like data preparation stuff, data cleaning and data pre-processing. So that really saves the time and resources basically. And after that, it also like helps for the ML stuff. And the best thing is you can more focus on the ML part, because as we know, the more time we have to give on the data preparation, but here the main task you can do is work on the ML more. And also there is not much need of working on that also because that is also provided by the solution is also provided by them. Actually, that's why it's automated ML, because they are only analyzing which ML model is more suitable for that data set and what is exactly to be predicted. So the work mainly comes in when you need to uh, enhance the accuracy, and there the main task comes, and that's the main point. Like you can use it for more benefit for the business, where you are mainly focusing on enhancing the your accuracy, enhancing your result by having a different by setting the different parameters like hyper tuning and all. But that's the main point, like it helps businesses to save time, resources, and to give more time on rapid innovation.
Uh,
Yeah.
Absolutely right, Rishikesh, and I would like to add on to it. I think businesses actually
Hmm.
can save a lot of time and resources for hiring data scientists to specifically work on the solution. I think AutoML eases the work. For example, data wrangling or data pre-processing, as we say, is the biggest bottleneck for any organization that's working in data and needs to create some prediction. For example, it can be for example, anomaly detection, as you can say, industrial, where you see they need output for the efficiency and resource optimization. Like they are using some resources, hardware resources, so they can sense the sensor data we can take in prediction. So these type of companies need absolute accuracy and lesser time. So I think these businesses actually see AutoML as a successor to traditional machine learning, as they only think about better accuracy and lesser time. Also, as you can see, the it is simpler stuff. In traditional machine learning, you need an expert, a domain expert. You need to have multiple resources of data collection, then of course ETLing, pipelining, and contingencies, also data serving, etc. So this is one of the things. It is not easy for anyone. They need to have proper machine learning expertise, and also
Yeah.
it's not like if you are machine learning expert, you will always succeed in that. There is always a contingency for failure. So that is why they take lesser risk and opt to AutoML, that you can obviously switch if the work case does not work. And of course, it is an easier solution than traditional machine learning. So I think that's why businesses are much switching
Uh,
to the
I
AutoML
would like
solution.
to add one more point here, like as you were saying about the errors which we got, okay, or the struggle we have in the traditional system. So it like by having this, the businesses can save the time, as I told, and also to reduce the errors. Okay, to reduce the errors, to reduce the skill gaps. Skill gaps, there where the term democratizing comes in. Okay, and also the main one more point that I would like to add is to improve the productivity. Hmm. Productivity for the ML deployment and to get the result as soon as possible, and to have a proper workflow in that.
Yes,
So
and
that are
also
the,
it
yeah.
it builds the trust of the company or business.
Mhm.
So are they getting proper outputs so that they can actually use that in that process. So coming to the next part, how can data scientists leverage the power of AutoML? Like, for example, Mindsdb platform, which is one of the most best platforms, as I have experimented on Mindsdb, as we are using it. It's one of the top AI 50 solutions, and moving forward, maybe it will rise as it is constantly being improved by the community. And as a matter of fact, I would like to tell everyone that MindsDB has an amazing community too. You can check out their open source, as we will be always sharing you the link. I think in description it is already mentioned, so you can go and check it out. So Rishikesh, what would you like to comment? Like, are data scientists leveraging the power?
Yeah, I'm audible, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, so it's really useful, as I told before only. Like many of the stuffs are working in the database only. Okay, many of the tasks is carried out in the into the database only. So it really helps the data scientist to work on the other stuffs, to enhance the accuracy stuffs. Okay, to mainly focus on the ML part rather than the preparation stuff. So it really helps them to mainly focuses on the result and the accuracy, like
So,
that.
for example, if you are a data scientist, and what major attribute of modeling would you focus on? So, like, there are a lot of things, like model selection is one thing,
Yeah.
then hyperparameter tuning is one thing, then there is ensembles, then there is, of course, encoders stuff, also learning rate. So,
Mm-hmm.
what exactly would you focus?
So as if my data is cleaned. Okay, it is processed and ready for the for to get into the model, and I am ready with the which type of model it should be in. Like if it's time series, then I would go for an LSTM, or if it's a different type of an time series, then I can go for an another type of a model. Okay, or so after getting into the model, then my main task would be to get it to a correct way. Okay, by having a perfect hypertuning or setting a learning rate. So here the task would be, as you told, like what would be my main focus is, uh, as we know that we have a model ready with ourselves only, so we need to my focus would be more to modify the model parameters to get the more accurate results. So that would be my main focus.
Yeah, absolutely. What if I could like Mindsdb allows you to do this without having to go through that hassle because they
Yeah.
support the
Hmm.
time series analysis, as you can check out their tutorials. And yeah, coming to that, we will be continuing this Mindsdb series, maybe couple more videos where we will be breaking
Yeah.
down case studies, and one of them is going to be favorite, Rishikesh, like
Yeah, like
time series forecasting. So yeah, we
yeah.
will look in depth
So, mm,
about how it actually does. What happens in the back end? In today's session, we are only introducing you people to the world of AutoML and MindsDB. Next session, we will be actually doing hands-on and breaking down what actually goes into the back end and what are handlers and a lot of stuff. So yeah,
sure, sure. We will be discussing about like what is exactly time series, how you should think about if you got the real, because many of the data set which we deal with of a real world data set is a timestamp data. Okay, and we need to think about how we can forecast if we are dealing with forecasting or predicting the future. So we need to specifically go what should be the thinking process for that. Okay, so we will be discussing about the time series, how to think for according to that, and also we will be trying to solve a case study hands-on with using MindsDB. So it would be a great session.
sure. And
Yeah,
now moving to our last segment, how does it impact the development process? Because we have been discussing just half an hour about MindsDB, about AutoML, but how does it actually impact the development process? So let me break down this stuff. So getting down to a case study, I can take an example. For example, forecasting. It can be sales forecasting. It can be anything. So, for example, sales forecasting. So there is a customer. Okay, there is a seller. So what we will do? We'll collect the data. If we are following the traditional machine learning, we have to collect the data. Then we have to do data cleaning. It might be unstructured or structured. Then we have to eventually go to ETLing the stuff, and then after that providing it to the model where it will ensemble, encode it, and of course after that you will have an prediction that you are eventually deploy using some web services or servers, right? And then it eventually has to be done via pipelining. So this development process takes a long time, mostly 95%, 90 or 95 if I am not wrong. Companies take around 2 years or more than that to actually complete their model deployment. So I think in today's generation, as in you see a lot of version updates on every type of software or hardware being constantly upbringing. So don't you think 2 years is a lot of time? So
yeah,
I think companies are eventually missing out. So that is where actually AutoML and stuff like MindsDB actually is a lifesaver for them, because it allows in database machine learning, AI tables, AutoML frameworks, integrations, personal handlers. Even we will discuss about that in further segment. What is that? So you can actually go customizing or use pre-built and AutoML stuff also with in database machine learning. So it actually eases your work. Like 2 years work can be done say in 6 months if you focus on proper modeling stuff. So don't you think that is a revolution in the industry of machine learning, as we also are exploring, researchers are exploring on better models or better like bagging, like better accuracy, and shortening the processing and training time, and also it can save a lot of resources. So I think this is actually the impact of organization like Mindsdb that are having in the field or sector of machine learning. Do you
And
have anything to
it
share
is
with
it is
that?
really easy to adapt also for the
Yes.
businesses or organization. It is easy to adapt, as running ML model is as easy as SQL queries. Okay, so
Yes.
you don't need to have a too much of a script or like that. You just need to have 3 to 4 lines of queries, and you are just good to go with your ML model. So it's really great, like if you are just having a database connected with your application, and you just need to write some of the queries, and you can show your predicted value into your application. So it really saves time, and also the development process.
Sure.
Yeah.
One thing more I would like to ask you is, as you have used Mindsdb, where you think Mindsdb can be more improved, or what kind of segment Mindsdb can add to its already existing feature that you think would be more easier for beginners?
uh, as per your first question, I would like to break it into two parts. Okay, so as per the first question, as we know that today in today's world there are many IoT sensors or IoT devices
Because
used to generate
let
a
me
lot.
tell, because as you know that user feedback or community feedback is also important for us, so that's why I asked that question. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Yep.
Yeah, you
So
can go ahead.
uh, yeah, as I told that as per my you asked about the new integration part, right? Where it can
Yeah,
be used.
as you know,
Yeah.
one of the integration is ML flow that they have been
Yeah.
working on and has been successful, and there are more like TensorFlow Lite and Auto Keras, etc. New integrations being done by the community. Absolute kudos to the community for bringing up such integration. So yeah, you can continue with
Yeah.
what
So,
you are
like,
explaining.
as we see, many of the IoT devices and IoT sensors used to generate a lot of data, lot of raw data, and that raw data can be useful to get the insights of what could be the future data. Okay, or we can predict from that. So, uh, and there are many database which stores this IoT data. So, and it's really too hectic we when the pre-processing of this raw data comes into the picture. Okay, so that's the place where Mindsdb can come into the picture, where the IoT devices sensors data can be saved into the database, and it can really work on predicting. Like if there is a sensor, okay, the sensor used to predict the temperature of during the time, okay, and it used to frequently sends the data and stores into the database. So it can be used to predict the of any forecasted or future predicted value of temperature. So there where the Mindsdb comes into the picture,
Yeah, sure.
like in that.
So I
Yeah.
think now we can move to Q&A, our favorite section. So if you have any
Yeah.
questions, so let me see. So I think, yeah, there is one question here. This is one is interesting. Might spark debate also. So can tools like
And
Mindsdb replace traditional machine learning? I think that's a big contradiction itself.
I,
So
I would say
would you
no.
like to express your views, because I have a lot to talk about that? Yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah, I would say no, because still like recently text analytics and time series comes came into the picture. Previously there were only binary classification, multi classification, and regression stuffs only. Okay, so the rapid innovation in AutoML is also going far away, far away, where we got the text analytics too. And text analytics is really there are many applications of that we are surrounded with. Okay, so the thing is, I would say traditional machine learning would never going to be replaced with Mindsdb. Mindsdb or have the benefits for a different purpose. Machine learning will also be there. Okay, but if we are talking about having a better production line. Okay, a better production line, or I can say if we want to save the time, and if we have a predefined set of database, we need to just predict the like if it's a regression type of problem or time series, we just need to forecast a part of from the database. Then it's really useful. Okay, you have said Mindsdb, not AutoML. Huh. Mindsdb is really useful if we are talking about replacing with the traditional machine learning. Then I would say yes, it's a revolutionary, and it's really like a debatable, I can say. Um, yep, Mindsdb can replace it, but I can't surely tell this. But it's revolutionary. It revolutionary that we are working in a database. Okay, that's the
So
key
Rishi is
point.
coming to your point. Mindsdb can replace traditional machine learning. I think that's quite controversial because I think
Yeah, yeah.
traditional
That's why
machine
I
learning
said,
has its
yeah,
different space. Okay, I
yeah,
would argue about that. Still, I think traditional machine learning is way above everything, even AutoML. The thing here is there is no way to streamline that traditional machine learning process. But there
mm,
are many things like there is MLOps, there is MLOps, for example, Cube Flow, ML Flow, where they are
mm,
actually doing registry, monitoring it. It's all monitoring tool from data preparation to modeling to deployment. I think they are actually doing absolutely awesome job. But one thing is when it comes to lot of data, it
yeah,
begins to have complexities. So I think as gradually time proceeds, they will come up with better traditional machine learning approach so they can fit it into the modern era where the needs are skyrocketing and the time and resources are actually more valuable. So I think one time might be AutoML will take over, but traditional machine learning still will be there, especially when it comes to research purpose, because
yes,
that is where no tool can actually replace it. And as you can see, in complex models also, traditional machine learning is much emphasized in because in AutoML you cannot specify certain things. You have to customize it using traditional machine learning. You have to go around, scratch your head, and just train it, feed it more data, and hyperparameter to optimize. I think that is a great cycle of learning. But yeah, when you have to do applications, so I think in application, AutoML is much more prevalent. So
yeah.
yeah,
So
going to the next
I would like
question.
to add one more point in that.
Yeah.
So like traditional machine learning is really too broad, okay, and AutoML is now only focusing on a small domain. So we can't say it like it replaces like that. But yes, what Mindsdb is doing is really different from how traditional machine learning goes on. So it's
Yes.
the two different terminologies, I can say.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, going to the next question, what is learning curve for MindsDB? I think this is a great question. I was expecting it. So, Jayesh, coming to your point, I think you are aiming to learn about MindsDB and how it is implementing machine learning. So you can go to clouds.mindsdb, cloud.mindsdb. So
Yeah.
it is a cloud platform that MindsDB provides. There you have basic tutorials and there you have tools. So you can go to your database, connect your database to the machine MindsDB machine learning tool. So it will pull the data from there and it will do the work. For the learning curve, you can refer to the documentation. As in currently, there are not much tutorials of MindsDB, but as the community is putting in the hard work, so they are creating tutorials as well. But I think it's the best learned when you self-explore. So I would recommend they have a great documentation. Just go to mindsdb.docs. There you will get how to create predictor, and also you will get depth information on their GitHub. In their GitHub also they have a great documentation where for every handler, integration, everything they have documentation. I
You can
hope that
also
answers your
also
question.
have an hands-on tutorial of the
Sure.
Mindsdb.
We
You will
will be
get
coming up with that also.
yeah, yeah. So
So
next question is how much actual ML you need to learn to use Mindsdb. So you doesn't need much of an ML part. You should be good with the SQL queries. First point. then that is not ML. Okay, you should be but familiar with the SQL queries. Second, how much actual ML you would be needing? You should be familiar with the basic concepts like what is regression, how it works, then about the basic classification, and like I can say you are good to go. You to start with the Mindsdb. Anything you would like to add on, Pratik?
Yes.
Yeah.
So how much actual ML? So if you have an idea, key mostly Mindsdb data preparation, data cleaning, that stuff Mindsdb takes care of. But still, you need to understand. You should much more than ML. I would say you need to have SQL knowledge because
Yeah.
I have said it's in database machine learning. So much more than ML. If you have a basic ML knowledge like what is regression or like how to train the model, what is encoding stuff, basic stuff. If you know, like if you can implement a regression model, that's enough. I think enough ML knowledge. The more knowledge you need to require is about SQL. You need to be proficient in SQL. The more you are proficient with SQL, you can utilize the Mindsdb tool much more. So yeah, I think that must have answered your question. Coming to the next question, I think this is very interesting one. GPT is also easing analytics and ML stuff. Don't you think it's a progression? So Rishikesh, I think GPT stuff you
Yeah.
actually
So,
have
yeah.
worked on.
So GPT is generative pre-trained training model. Okay. So it is like built on like various parameters, and like it is GPT-3 recently is like very famous for analytics and machine learning stuff. Like you can generate whatever you want. Okay. It's the best tool which I have seen right recently. So don't you think it is a progression? As in, I didn't get the question.
I
Uh,
think he's selling like GPT. He's comparing GPT to AutoML. It's
yeah.
like linking all the stuff.
Okay. So as compared to traditional machine learning too.
I think it's about like GPT. For example, first we have to analytics, right? We
Yeah.
used to have traditional analytics, traditional machine learning. So as in now AI kicks in, right? What
Yeah.
AI does it is pre-trained, right? So what is
Mm.
question I think is GPT is also a pre-trained structure. So it's much more migrating to pre-trained stuff or AI stuff. So you think AI plus ML is a perfect combination for the upcoming future? I think
Yeah.
he's asking that. I think yeah, we absolutely agree with your statement
Uh,
as well. It is
like,
definitely a
like
progression.
GPT-3 and the various state of art model, they are perfectly built by having a lot of
Absolutely.
parameters and lot of data. So that's the best, and you can't exceed it from that. Okay, so that they are actually the state of art model, and that's why that's the best model, I think.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess okay. Thanks, Jayesh, and thank you, audience, for being patient. I guess people watching it up to this 50 minute mark is absolutely great because this was core ML stuff, and some of the
Yes.
concept we were discussing, I think, might also have went over your head. So I apologize for that. In next session, we would absolutely rock it. We would be like doing hands-on, and we will try to explain every bit of it. So yeah, that's why we dedicated that session separately and not included in this. The
I
main motive
I
was
hope.
if
Yeah.
you are really interested in machine learning, I think you can explore a lot in Mindsdb and AutoML stuff.
I
Yeah,
hope the
Rishi.
session was insightful for everyone as we discussed about AutoML and like about the benefits of AutoML and also the power of MindsDB. Okay, and how MindsDB is revolutionizing the traditional machine learning stuff. So it was really great, and I hope you it was a great session for you all too. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. And for a photo session, we should take a photo.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Mindsdb. Yeah, it's okay. I think that's it. That's it. So for the next session, stay tuned. We will be bringing much more quality content as you are doing. Thank you, Jayesh.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Yash. Yeah.
So thank you, community, and now we will take an edu and meet you next time. Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bye.
let's meet next time.